Hey everybody, welcome back to Wanderlust Homebody. I am Tina Smith and I help people travel the world without breaking the bank and figure out how to stay in their dream destinations long term. I hold temporary residency in Mexico and I have a long term visa, 2-year visa in Indonesia. And I am currently awaiting my decision for citizenship application in Benin, Africa. All right, so in this video, we are going to continue our conversation and talk a little bit about what is residency, what are visas, and why, Tina, are you helping people get there? All right, so I just mentioned that I have residency, temporary residency in Mexico. So what residency and visas are they give you permission to go to a country and be in that country for a particular period of time, whatever time is specified, by the visa or residency that you get. And it designates what you can do while you are there. So I actually want to back up and start with a visa. So when you travel to a foreign country, you have to use your passport, and that passport says what the requirements will be for you to enter that country. For instance, the United States passport gets you into 180 something countries visa free. And so that means that because I have a United States passport. Because I have that passport, because of the relationship between the United States and the country that I'm going to, let's say Mexico. So the United States and Mexico have such a relationship that a person with a U.S. passport can go to Mexico and stay for 90 days, for up to 180 days, for up to 6 months. But if I tried to go to, where have I been? Okay, when I was in Vietnam earlier this year. So before I went to Vietnam, I had to apply for a visa in order to be let into the country. You apply online and they approve you or they don't approve you. And usually if they don't approve you, it's because you filled out something incorrectly that didn't match your ID or something simple like that. You pay a fee. They electronically send you the okay to enter their country and you go in. The visa limit time frame for Vietnam was 90 days. So there you have it. Now, let's go back to Mexico because this is the simplest example that I can think of. In Mexico, although I can be there on a tourist visa for 180 days or 6 months, I cannot work there. And some countries are extremely strict about this, even doing like hair on the side or odd jobs. They do not allow it. And Thailand is one of those countries. So your visa says what you can do. As a visitor, you cannot work in a country. I don't know. So usually you have to have a work permit to work in the country. Just like in the United States or whatever country you're from. You know, when foreign residents are there are restrictions to what they can do. And if they violate those, it's a crime. All right, so that's a visa. It says how long you can be there, what you can do while you're there. Residency, on the other hand, is when you are a resident. I don't know another word to use for it. So when you get residency, you go to a country and you have more privileges than a visa, just like residents from other countries in the United States or whatever country you're in. When you're a resident or you get a long-term visa and not a tourist visa, you can stay in a country longer and you can have more privileges. If you don't have the proper visa, a long-term visa or residency, you are going to have to leave the country after the amount of time that your tourist visa allows you to be there and come back. That is called a border run. Tina does not do border runs. I mentioned that I have a 2-year visa in Indonesia. I got that 2-year visa because I love Vietnam, but I can only stay in Vietnam for up to 3 months. So I looked around to see what countries near Vietnam will allow me to be there longer so that I can just go in and out of Vietnam when I want to. Because I'm nearby and it's affordable, right? So Indonesia was a great nearby option. And I do help folks get Indonesia visas long term. The visa that I have to stay in Indonesia long term, if you're interested in that, click the link in the description. The border runs. Thailand is they are one of the strictest countries I have ever heard of when it comes to travel rules and requirements, travel laws. Now, a lot of people will choose a neighboring country and just go spend some time there, maybe a weekend or a week or so, go visit somebody and come back. But some countries literally allow you to leave and come right back, not Thailand. Thailand, as a matter of fact, if you leave and come, they are very scrutinous at the border. They will deny you entry. They will look at your passport and say, you just left 3 days ago and you have 2 times prior to this, you left and came right back, so we will not let you in. Thailand has a longer term visa that's very popular, and it just, I think they launched it definitely in the past 2 years, maybe the past 1 year. It's called the DTV, which stands for Destination Travel Visa. And you get to stay there for 5 years. Now, I did not get the Thailand visa because I just don't love Thailand, number one. Number two, some of the requirements for the DT visa, I just didn't want to put that much of an investment in. What I want to say to you now is that a lot of visa applications will tell you exactly how much money you need to have in order to enter the country. The reason that there is a suggested amount, and sometimes it's not a suggestion, sometimes it's a requirement, as in Thailand, some of the times, they want to know that you have the means to stay in that country without becoming a burden on them. So again, when you come with a visa, even some longer term visas don't give you access to what do you call it? Like, I'm going to use the word welfare because that's the only word I can think of, but government assistance. That's what I'm trying to think of. Don't give you the right to apply for government assistance. You will not get into many countries without a return flight home. And it doesn't have to be home, a return flight, a flight out of the country for a future date. So they don't care where you go. You just get out of their country, and it has to be dated before the deadline of your visa. Before your visa would have run out, you have to have proof that you have already acquired means to get out of these people's countries. As a matter of fact, I was denied entry. I could not print my boarding pass and couldn't understand why when I was going last October to Panama. And when I got to the airport, I was like, okay, I'll just use the kiosk. I don't understand what's going on. They didn't have on file my return ticket back to the U.S. because I was leaving from Texas for an ongoing destination, onward destination, I think it's called. So they wouldn't even let me print my boarding pass. The airline, United Airlines, would not let me print my boarding pass, or it might have been American. And whomever it was, I have no problem with them. That's their rule because from what I understand, now I was told this, I haven't found the information for myself, but I was told by a very credible person who travels very often internationally, that the airline is responsible for getting you back home. If you fly to a country and cannot be admitted because you didn't have your return flight, the airline has to pay for you to return. home. I didn't know how long I was going to be gone, so I didn't buy a return flight. So I had to end up buying a return ticket at that airport just to get my boarding pass and be able to board. Now, I just canceled the ticket. You can do that. You just buy a refundable ticket, or if you're in the United States, you have at least 24 hours. Some airlines give you longer to cancel a ticket. So I just canceled a ticket once I boarded the plane. But yeah, it's a serious thing. So if you do not have an onward flight for many countries, but I'm sticking with Thailand. Not picking on Thailand. I don't blame them for their rules. You know, their government is, all governments are on a budget. Their government, I guess, is sticking to their budget. And so if you don't have that return flight or onward flight, you are not getting into Thailand. Most of the time. Now, I will say this. I left Vietnam and went to Thailand in February or March. I didn't get asked for all of that. But some people do, especially people who do border runs. They are asked for the money in their bank account so it can be verified that they have enough money to support themselves, and proof of a return flight. That happens. So that's something to be prepared for. So the reason that I help people get longer term visas and residency is so you do not have to do those border runs, so that you can stay in the country that you're going to longer and, you know, be able to explore and get housing and such, and not have to worry about leaving in a short period of time. So one of my girlfriends went to Indonesia, had never set foot in Indonesia before. I don't even know if she had ever been to Southeast Asia before. Got there in December of last year, loves it, thrives there, still is there. But that worked great for her, but you have to be very, very sure if you're going to do that. I don't recommend it for most people. The emotional weight, when you want to escape a place, when you want to get away from somewhere, and especially if you've been, you know, in a toxic situation with your job, just with life, with how you're being treated as a human, all of those things, it can make going anywhere appealing. But when you get there, it might not be what you thought, or it might be exactly what you thought. But as you release that trauma, and as you spend more and more time outside of the place of trauma and stress that you're leaving, you realize that you want something different than you thought. And it's a process to get most visas. And especially can be a process to get long-term visas, the qualifications to meet them and to send the paperwork in and to wait and all of that. Because you can't apply for long-term visas or residency in the country. So imagine going through all it takes to get a long-term visa or residency, and then getting there and staying a couple months and realize, sometimes it doesn't even take that, a week, 3 days, and realizing, oh, this isn't what I thought, and then having to start over. That's disappointing. So I do recommend going and scouting out a place and house sitting to do it, so that it doesn't cost you much and you could just be banking the money for your actual move. I want to end this video by talking about something that I spoke about in the beginning of the video, which is passports. So you have to have a passport to apply for residency or visa in any country, to enter any country. So many people do not have a passport yet, and that is okay. But at this time, in the climate, the political climate of the United States, and the social climate, the political climate is affecting the social climate and the financial climate and all the things, right? If you are watching this video, you are thinking about traveling abroad. You are thinking about making some major changes in your life that include travel. Get a passport if you don't have one. Getting your passport is step number one. With all of the things, if you live in the United States, that are changing about citizenship laws and, you know, all of the things that are going on and all of the changes that are being made, let me say this. You have zero chance of leaving the country if you wait until some random law is passed or some change is made and you can't even get a passport. And I know that sounds very far-fetched and even maybe a little conspiracy theorist, but we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. Some citizens are walking around getting arrested and being deported wrongfully. So we can't say what's going to happen. Get your passport, people. Please get your passport. If you have no idea how you are going to get out of the country and that's your desire, that's okay. You don't have to wait until you know how you're going to leave the country to get your passport. But you will not be leaving the country without a passport. So do that. And it costs about $150 per person. For adults. I think it's a little cheaper, maybe like $20 or $30 cheaper for children. But even so, if it's a cost prohibitive for you to get your whole family a passport and that's why you're not doing it, get one passport at a time. If you can't get all that you need at a time, but get your passport because you are not going anywhere without that. That's step one. That's the basics. And I'm thinking about the passports because I was at the post office yesterday and 2 people in front of me came for passport applications. Y'all, you do not need to go to the post office to get the passport applications. You just need to go there to turn it in. So I'm going to put in the description the link to the Department of State. You can download the application online and fill it out, like with Adobe Acrobat or whatever. Fill it out on your computer or on your phone and then print it. And I was thinking when the people were picking up because she got in 1 copy per person. And I'm like, what if you mess up? Then you have to come back to the post office. Just do it at home. You can delete, online when you type, you can delete if you make an error, and then print out the final product and take it to the post office and turn it in. All right, y'all. Whatever questions you have, please feel free to put them in the comments. I have enjoyed speaking with you on this video. And next, we are going to talk about, let me look at my notes. We're going to talk about why I got residency in Mexico and how I can help you do it too. Tune in.